Hi class, welcome to IS485 and 585. I'm Professor Fahmi Jalani. Today we continue on chapter 3 of Enterprise System Architecture. So as we know, it consists of three tiers, the web, application and data. So some benefit, you are able to scale the system, and it's very reliable, where you have redundancy in terms of backup or there's a failure in the system from one department to another. Flexibility, you're able to portion the system into various departments. Easy to maintain, the components are reusable, and also in terms of security is quite good, quite high. As for drawbacks, limitation is very expensive and also complex. So take a look at the different tier. So you have first the web tier, where user could analyze and access the data. And next we have the application tier, which is used for reporting, reports, and prevent irrelevant access in between. Okay, and the last tier is the data, where you will organize all the data for the enterprise. So take a look at the diagram here. So we have the three layers, presentation layer, which is pretty much GUI, graphic user interface for the user. Application layer is where the server runs, and data layer where the database or the memory is being kept for the reporting or generating of the reports. So next, take a look at web services. This is pretty much the fourth tier. Web services could split into services or browser. This is another level of the ERP, where it uses the internet, right? Integration of the system. Next, take a look at example of here we have PeopleSoft architecture, where you have the different database management server, directory server, okay, which is linked to the SQL and all the different types of department, application, business component, UI, query, process, scheduler application, and security. Right? And it's been relayed through the internet, and also through the legacy system which they have initially. And benefit and drawbacks, basically it's a large system for ERP. Integration is easy, it uses a server, and it's very secure in terms of security, and users are able to access it, basically the client, and easy to integrate with other systems. Drawbacks, we have security, and for the client, where you could have unauthorized access, and also for servers, because there's too massive transaction being going on, it could be very slow. So let's take a look at SOA architecture, or service oriented. SOA are basically object oriented architecture, where you could integrate different, in this case, programs at the same time. Okay? And you are able to segregate different function, business function, okay? And it allows interaction of messaging, and also able to use different languages. Could be Java, could be C Sharp, C++, Python, things like that. So they are basically contract basis where client, between the client and the server provider, in terms of what the function they need, requirement and specification output. Okay, there's a pre and post condition where initial and official launch of the system, and even error handling. So here we see the SOA architecture where the consumer and the provider, right, there is a request and service. Next, we take a look at the benefit of SOA. It's heterogeneous platform are pretty much the same, and it's very independent. You can use it, access it anywhere, and there are several applications you can use at the same time, and it's very loose. In terms of security, authentication, authorization support, okay. Good thing is very dynamic in terms of searches and connectivity. The reliability is there because the infrastructure is laid out for you, and also reduces hardware cost because it's already connected to the internet. Also, it's accelerate the server, synergizing the data, right, with different application, and as evolve, it's self-healing, okay, meaning that error could be updated, okay, patches, right. It's good for decision making, and because it's quite unified with the industry standard, and in terms of tax, it's quite easy. Yeah. Value benefit, you're allowed to meet customer demand quickly. Cost is low in terms of acquisition and maintenance. It empowers management, okay, by leveraging the existing technology, and also reduce costs in terms of customization. Excuse me. Drawbacks, time consuming, okay, initial start, implementing, very costly, huge cost to implement it. You need a very complex security firewall, okay, this to protect the data if you are a very big company, okay, dealing with, for example, customer data, privacy, and could be inconsistent in terms of stabilizing the system, okay, letting the user getting use of the system. Enterprise focus, which the organization require very broad overview of what direction of the company, and on top of that, it's very sophisticated. Yeah. So between the two, it allows different software where web services allows third-party software to be used, okay? and there won't be any problems with communication and interaction, and also open standard. In this case, WSDL, UDDI, and SOAP. Okay? And protocols are basically XML, which is extensible markup language, similar to HTML, but without the predefined text. And it's quite a powerful way to store your data. Let's take a look at enterprise content, SOA. Due to its size, you are able to store, preserve, manage, deliver, okay, the data. This to support the business goal, and it's an information asset, okay, with this technology. Let's take a look at cloud architecture or cloud computing. It runs over the internet. Most of us would know iCloud. If you are using Google, we have Gmail, Google Drive, can access anywhere. So it saves money. Some application allows you to build your own app, for example. Right? It's an alternative for the organization in terms of purchasing, installing, or maintaining. Okay, take note, you need to be very precise in your security and privacy. Okay, that's the risk of cloud computing. Some benefit: user are being subscribed, not for license or an upgrade. In this case, you pay as you use. Okay, the more user, the more you pay. Okay, it save money. Okay, you can access it anywhere. There's no installation. You can scale as the bigger the company grow, the more it can the software able to grow with you. No maintenance fee, and they encourage green computing, where you run less hardware, right? And it's very reliable. Some drawbacks mentioned earlier: security, and it's very vulnerable to attack, to be hacked, virus attack. Okay, conflict of interest. In this case, another company who has the same business could replicate. Okay, and also you need to protect your IP. In this case, you could be hacked, or could be data breach, things like that. So implication of management: enterprise is basically long-term function. Okay, it's very flexible. Okay, and also you need to filter out any other unnecessary technology that you will not need in the future. Right. So that's pretty much it for the class. If you have any question, please email me. Request for Zoom. Stay safe and wear a mask. Thanks. Bye.